What would you say is the best and worst thing about being on OnlyFans? Dude, the money is freaking great. Obviously, like cash money. It is the freedom that I've always wanted is just, and it's not what everyone thinks it is. Like I get questions and people wanting to see photos of my belly button.
Okay.
My feet. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to sell yourself completely to make money. And I was posting bikini photos and lingerie photos before I was even on MAFS for years. Since I was 21, I used to do all those sort of photo shoots forever. So it's nothing different. I'm just getting paid for it now.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely amazing. And I think the worst part is just not that I really care, but it's people's perception of you. It's like they think that your values and who you are just completely go out the window. My parents were the ones that told me to do it. They were like, why don't you just do it? They're like, with the, I guess, housing crisis and everything that's going on at the moment, the way to get ahead is to be doing something like this. And they're like, so many reality stars do it. So many celebrities do it. And they make really good money and set themselves up. So people's perception and their judgment isn't going to pay my bills.
Yeah.
So it's, if you can wrap your brain around that, OnlyFans, it's the stigma is always probably going to be around, and that's something that you kind of just need to accept, but you don't need to sell yourself short to make money.
Yeah. What kind of ballpark figure are we talking about with earnings?
My first month, my account did $250,000.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was insanity. I wasn't hardly even posting on there.
Yeah.
It was just because it just went wild.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Do you have
Yeah.
a time limit on how long you would stay on there for? Like, do you ever think, oh, like maybe in a year's time this will get old or whatever?
100%. It's never been something that I wanted to do full time. It's just, obviously it's funded my new business. So now that I've got my swimwear label with my best friend Lauren, that's something that's been a dream of mine for pretty much most of my 20s, but you need money to invest into it.
Yeah.
Didn't want to look into investors. My parents don't have, 20, 30 grand just laying around, and I would never ask them for that anyway.
Yeah.
So it's something that I wanted to do on my own. And my mum was like, Bronte, you're not going to have this body and you're not going to look like this forever. So she goes, if I was your age and I needed to make some money in a year, she goes, just do it. I'd do it.
100%. You're so right about the stigma too, because a
Yep.
lot of creators, they do just do it for a certain amount of time and then they invest or they buy their
Exactly.
properties
Yeah.
or they do whatever.
Exactly.
It's like, so anyone that hates on it, it's like, oh, you hate women getting ahead. I see you.
Exactly. And that's exactly what it is. And that's okay. Like, that's your beliefs and that's your values. And I'm never going to push that onto anybody. And I was somebody that when I first heard of it, I was like, ew, why would you do that? Why would you sell yourself short? Being on it, it's not about that at all. And it really makes you feel like you can achieve anything. If you can accept and get through the backlash of being on OnlyFans, you can get through anything. I did it with MAFS and OnlyFans, so I'm like, don't try me. 100%.
And here you are, you can charge for feet pics. It's
Yeah,
great.
exactly.
It is the
True.
dream.
I paid $700 for my belly button. I'm like, that's rent paid.
That's crazy. What advice would you give the new cast if any of them are considering joining OnlyFans now?
Don't, like, if you want to do it, just, I guess, detach from the idea of anybody's judgment. It's going to happen. We're all going to end up in a box one day. We're all going to die. So, like, why would you live your life? You've just gone through the biggest experiment in the world, and been judged by everybody. What's a little bit more judgment? Like, if you've got a goal, if you've got a reason why, just remember that why and just put your horse blinkers on and just charge forward. Like, it's definitely worth it, but definitely have a timeline involved because it's not something that you want to do forever. It's actually like content creation, even Instagram, everything, it's bloody exhausting. But if you've got a why, then just remember that why because it's definitely worth it. 100%.